Hey guys, wanted to take a few minutes and make a video for new people to the project. My idea is to share this with people who join the project when they get going. A very fun project, this 1984 community replay project, um, and in order not to exclude any games, we didn't do as played lineups because not every game includes all the players. Um, so JC, who started this project, is doing a great job with it. Didn't want to exclude any games, so it's you can do as played for the lineups, um, but you can't do it for the pitching staff. So that's kind of a confusing part. But it's really not bad. It's just one little thing that can be a bit of a hang up. So wanted to show that and just kind of show you how to get going. So uh, first thing is to go to Facebook and join our Facebook group. So here's the 1984 Community Replay Project. Once you get here, if you go to this featured section, you will see all of the featured posts. So here's what we call the main post with all the rules. Click see more right there. All the rules. Um, we're trying to JC tried to make this as laid back as possible. We're not too worried. I love what JC said about the goal is to harken us back to our days when we're 12 years old and we're not worried about getting every detail right and 100% accurate and all of that stuff. So um, we're keeping it loosey goosey. Mistakes have been made. More mistakes will be made. I made a huge mistake early on. I don't even remember what it was, but I told JC about it. He's like, just roll with it. So you know, it's any time you have this many games, this many people involved, it's not going to be um, accuracy is going to take a little bit of a back seat. But these games are so great, it's still going to be really good and enjoyable. So enough about all that. This is the main post. Said all that to say. We're following this mostly. Some of the timeline and getting things done in a week and all of that. We've kind of just let that go a little bit, and we're getting games done as we get games done. We're going to make adjustments to these rules as or if needed. For now, we're just rolling with it. But this is kind of one of the main things right here, uh, the pitching staff. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. But this is the main post. Here's the link to Card and Dice. So if you'll just go to Card and Dice Baseball and create an account here, and then send that to me or JC, and send us your username, and we will add you to the league. You can message me in Microsoft in Facebook chat, or Facebook Messenger, or just however you can get a hold of me. Uh, Tag me in a message on our Facebook group. But just go here, create an account, send me the account because you're not going to find it in the current leagues because it's set to private. But then once you get it set up, click on my homepage, and then you'll see your leagues over here. So over here is the league home. Um, so we'll get in. There's other videos about using this. So that's not the purpose of this one. This is just to get you started. So there is that, and then the other thing is the Google schedule. So the schedule is completed over here on Google Sheets, and this is where you are sign up to play games. And we do this kind of a week at a time. So we go down to these colored areas over here, and I've recently added a column here, percent complete, to kind of keep us motivated. So you can see once we get done with this block of games, we'll be 29.25% of the way complete with this project, and we'll be 616 games complete into the project. Those are approximate numbers, but you get the point. So to sign up for a game, just put your name in one of here. You know, kind of asking that you share the love. I try to pick, some of the really bad games that aren't going to be a lot of fun that people lose interest in to play. Um, but I'll pick a few really good games as well for teams that are contenders and teams I like. I think everybody probably likes the 84 Tigers and the Cubs. Um, I'm not particularly fans of those teams, but since they were the top teams in '84, I tend to cheer for those teams. Um, So that's how you sign up for a game. Just put your name in here, um, and the next thing to kind of look at is this column right here. So this is going to be Chicago's 47th game. So the pitcher that you will use, you'll look down here at the different tabs. Chicago is in the American League. So Chicago in the American League, this is game 47. You're going to use that second number right there. So you can see pitcher number 7 for games that end in 2 or games that end in 7. For Chicago, it's going to be Seaver. So for Chicago, and I want to make sure I'm on the AL, not the NL tab, because here's the NL tab, here's the AL tab. I would use Seaver. And then back to the schedule tab. For Texas, it's going to be their game number 46. So I'm going to use the pitcher who has we always use the second digit. So I'm going to use pitcher who starts games that end in 6 for Texas. So let me go over to Texas, and here's the 6th row. So I'm going to use, I'm guessing Hal or Hugh. Like I said in another video, I was 6 years old in the summer of 1984. Heard of a lot of these guys. Don't know all the names, so please excuse me if I don't get the names right. But that's really how this works. So you're looking at these numbers right here. So games that end in 1 or games that end in 6. So game 46, you would use, for Texas, you would use Hal. For Toronto, game 46, you would use Steve. Game 51, you would use Steve. That's really, it's that simple. There is a trades thing here, so you kind of want to pay attention to the trades tab. I'm using PC Replay Baseball as played lineups. And remember, we're also doing as scheduled. The schedule is the as scheduled games, not the as played games. So that can trip some people up as well. But on PC Replay Baseball, it lets me select the schedule as scheduled. It also lets me select as played lineups, but I can edit those. And I think Digital Diamond does the same way. So you just got to play around with the settings for whatever stat keeper you're using, if our board game companion you're using, if any. Um, Most of us probably like to do pencil and paper. I try to do that as much as I can as well. But these trades, you want to look here for the date that you're playing and make sure that they're on the proper team. So this is the team they came from, and this is the game they came to. Also, JC had asked that we use. So at the bottom of this trades, he asked that we use players that were carded by Strat-O-Matic. So if you click down at the bottom, you can click here, and I put a link in to the Strat-O-Matic roster sheet. So these are the eligible players for the project. I've been meaning to ask JC, since all the players are in card and dice baseball, I've noticed some guys have used players that were on the teams, but were not carded by Strat-O-Matic, but they were in their game, and they were in the players card set. So, and it's in card and dice. So there are some guys that aren't on here, but he had asked that we use these Strat-O-Matic players. I think he just did that for convenience. Maybe JC, you can comment if you see this, if you really care. I try to honor that. Others have. I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but that's the ask right now, is that we use players that were carded. But also some of these players, they might have been carded on Cleveland, but they're on a different team. So those players you can use those players, of course. They might not be listed on Chicago, the Cubs. Probably Eckersley is one of those guys. Eckersley is listed for Boston, but later on he played for Chicago, and maybe I have that the other way around. So obviously you can use Eckersley on Chicago as well. I think that might be all I wanted to show off for now, I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. We're keeping it simple. So there's the roster sheet. Also put that out on its own little tab. So it says AL roster sheet because that was my intention, but you can just click here. You can zoom in on this, um, or you can the tab is right here, or the link is right here as well. That'll take you to the roster sheet. So I think that is enough for now. Just a quick standings update. Lots of fun things that are going on here. You can see the Blue Jays started off crazy hot. So did Detroit. I think they won the first 7 or 8, 2, 4, 6 games in 7, 8, 9 of their first 11. But man, Toronto just really was red hot starting off. I want to see they kind of did what the Blue Jays did in real life. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Their first 10 games, and then their first 35 games, they only lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. 35-5. Was that what the Tigers did? I think maybe something like that. Stupid. But they're coming back down to earth a little bit. This block has not been so good, so that's fun to watch and track. So they only have a 4-game lead over the Yankees. Tigers are gaining ground. AL West, Kansas City has a 5.5-game lead. The National League is crazy. Everyone's really close. Pittsburgh's starting to fall behind a little bit, but everyone's really close in both the divisions. Here are the leaders. Kirk Dick D has given me some ideas on maybe how to fix something like Eckersley showing here twice since he's carded for both teams. He gave me some suggestions we can do to maybe fix this and get this showing right. But here's all the leaders down here. You can dig into these stats as much or as little as you want. I'm finding this really fun. I want everybody to have fun with it. I hope this video has been helpful, and thanks everybody who is participating or following along and who took time to watch the video. Have a good day.